yards. They will eat,
Next door neighbor.
yeah, small dogs, small cats. They're probably not gonna fight with a big tomcat, because it's gonna be moderately equal to size to them, but they will take small cats and small dogs. As well as if you have bunnies or anything like that. We have people that have bunnies in their backyard, like
Ducks.
domestic bunnies, ducks, things like that. Yes, they will take them. Yes, ma'am.
Is this slideshow on the internet?
It is not. I can work on getting it on to our TNR page if you would like me
I
to.
would like it
Okay.
because I live next to Randall Mill Park, and we have a lot of feral cats in our neighborhood and in the park. And there's a lot of people who do not like the feral cat.
Yes, ma'am, I understand. Yeah, we can get with them and get it put onto the city webpage. The city has a TNR site on,
If you go to the city's animal services page, it's on the city-wide website, you can find information for TNR, you can find information, we even have a new wildlife page. So if you have questions about coyotes and bobcats and what to do and how to handle them and all that, there's a wildlife page too that you just click on that animal that you're concerned about and it'll tell you everything you need to know about.
I also have some flyers and stuff back here, some little pamphlets that kind of help you guys if you have questions about how to deal with cats in your community, things like that. It has our city phone number on there if you need to contact us, and my business card as well, so you guys are welcome to take that information.
You've been talking about cats. And Arlington, at least in this part, doesn't have a problem with stray dogs,
Mhm.
not a very big one, but is there anything, how we handle stray dogs?
I actually live over here as well. I live off Shorewood, so I live in the area. With stray dogs, as far as like if a dog approaches you or if you see a dog?
No, I mean, is there any ordinance about the neuter that, dog?
Yes, if we impound, first of all, it's against the law for dogs to be running at large in Arlington. So if you are the person that lets your chihuahua out in the front yard in the morning to go to the bathroom, that's actually against the law. There's people that just let their dogs out in the morning and then they just run all day long.
Yep.
So if we impound that dog, if you see that dog loose, call us. But the problem is that people will call us and say, well, there's this dog in my front yard, and then they go on about with their day, and the dog takes off. So then by the time Animal Services gets there, that animal's long gone and we're never gonna find it. And the more these animals are out, the more they establish a territory and a route, and the farther they're gonna go, they're gonna travel. So if we impound the dog has to be sterilized within 30 days. Typically, when we have a vet, our vet does the sterilization, so then they're required to bring that animal back and get it sterilized. So it has to be sterilized within 30 days. It has to have a rabies vaccine before it leaves, and it has to be microchipped. And then they pay a big impoundment fee, they pay fees for the animal being housed at the shelter and stuff like that. And then we can also write them a citation. So if we know who the owner of the animal is and we pick the dog up, we will write them a citation as well for their dog being at large. Yes, sir?
We've had some neighbors that were exceptions to the rule. They would permit their dogs to go out without a leash. And we were advised by you people to take a picture of the animal and the person, the proximity where the animal is, and then send it to you.
Yes.
And then from there, they file a claim.
But initially, we're probably going to send out, and we're going to send them an at-large letter and let them know, because we want to educate people before we start punishing them. So some people don't know. So then we send them an at-large letter that lets them know that their animal cannot be running loose, that it's against city ordinance, and that if their animal's out again, that they can receive citations and blah, blah, blah. So then the second time, if it happens again, and you send it to us, at that point, we can issue citations for the dog being at large.
Well, yeah, and that second time, and then we had a third time by the same people. And I think the first fine was 200 per dog.
It can be
Yeah,
up to...
and then the next was 400 per dog, and they had 3 dogs. So they quit. I don't even know if they have dogs anymore. Can't afford them.
You know, and we actually, when we write these citations, most of the time we try to write criminal citations because they carry a heftier fine than a civil citation. And the good thing about a criminal citation is when you get negligent neighbors that don't pay their tickets, it goes to warrant. So then they can be arrested because they let their dog out in the front yard. So we just try to encourage people to do the right thing. We want to educate them and let them know what the right thing is, but if not, we also want to take punitive action because we want your neighborhoods to be safe, and we want these dogs to be following the ordinances.
And you need a photograph of the dog?
You need a photograph of the dog, and it has to be dated.
Yeah.
So that way we can't, because that way you can't say, or they can't say, well, you took 7 pictures of my dog on the same day. It has to be dated on that photo.
I've been asked about, what if you suspect somebody is a cat hoarder? Meaning like they have 30 cats, 40 cats living in their house, it's not a sanitary condition. I mean, do we report that to you, or do we
You
call the
can't,
police?
you report it to us. The problem is that there is not a law in Arlington as to how many animals you can have. So you can have 50 cats if you want in your house, as long as those cats as long as your premises is clean, they're not creating a nuisance, and the animals are receiving adequate care and vaccinations. So we also can't just come to that person's house and say, let us in your house. We want to know how many cats you have in there. We can do a welfare check on that house, and we can check to see if those animals are licensed and vaccinated, but all we can check is the animals that we can physically see. So if they don't open the door and all we can see is 2 cats in the window, then we can only deal with those 2 cats. But if we go to a house and we can smell feces, and you can smell that pungent odor emitting from the house, and you know that house is dirty, you can see it on the windows and things like that, at that point, it will go to, I believe, our cruelty investigator, and then she will pursue it from that point. Yes, sir.
How do you know when you go to a house where their cat's been vaccinated?
We have to see proof.
On the
When you get your animal sterilized and vaccinated, you're always going to have a receipt showing that that animal was vaccinated. So we will do a license and vaccine check, and then they will have to provide us with the city license and the rabies vaccine. And they have a certain amount of time to provide that to us, otherwise they can receive citations.
And that applies to dogs too?
Yes, sir,
Yeah.
dogs as well.
Where are the feral cats usually found?
Where are they found? They're everywhere.
I mean, you said lake.
Well, the resources are plentiful at the lakes, so there's lots of wildlife that is, like I said, I live off Shorewood, so I live off by Lake Arlington, and I have a lady that continually traps. She lives right on the lake. Her backyard goes into the lake, and she traps, and she catches possums all the time, and she says, why do I keep catching these possums? Well, I don't want these possums. Well, your backyard goes into the lake, and there's trees everywhere, so you're going to continue to catch things like that because that's where you live. So the wildlife that lives there, that's what these animals hunt, these cats hunt. But they also eat trash as well. So the cats that live in the inner part of town that aren't near the lakes and stuff, they're living on trash. They hide under dumpsters, they hide under old cars, they hide under...
Supermarkets and so on?
I'm sorry?
Kroger, Kroger.
Yes, Kroger, yes, they hide behind Kroger. We have a big group of cats up by Randall Mill, by the Brahms off Randall Mill, that we've been working to get those cats relocated because that's a business, and those cats are creating a huge, not only a nuisance, but a health hazard. With all those cats at a restaurant, when you have 30 cats swarming around out there, that's a health hazard for the restaurant. So, and also the cats were getting into the vehicles, like the maintenance vehicles, and they were getting killed. And then the workers would reach in to grab the cats out. And one time the cat was still alive. He thought it was dead. And he grabbed it and it bit him.
Wow.
So
Where was this again?
this was at Brahms off Randall Mill. Yeah. So, but they're everywhere. And you may not always see them, but they're there. I promise you.
Okay,
that's
thank
why
you
I
very
said
much.
public
We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. Thank you. We're really glad you're back.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have anything? There's one item I didn't cover. I mentioned last meeting that I had an inquiry about someone wanting to talk with citizens about redeveloping the property at 3104 West Division Street. It's kind of a junkyard now.
Yeah.
That's 7.5 acres. People want to redevelop it, want to put 75 units on it. and they said it's not Section 8 housing, but if people have a voucher, then it'd be there, but they have to meet certain qualifications. They're supposed to go to P and Z with a planned development plan. Everything I can see, it looks good, but I haven't seen what they're gonna present to P and Z. And I've had no further contact. They sent me a kind of a schematic that didn't tell us anything until they get ready to go to P and Z.
Well, and where is that? Where's 3104 Division?
3104 West Division. You know where that little nursery is on West Division, down at the
Pears?
bottom, not across what used to be.
Pears Nursery?
Yes, it's right just a bit up the hill from there.
They want to put housing in there?
Yes.
It's actually next door from that.
Across the street from that nursery?
No, it's right next to it. It's just up the hill. I think it's right next door to it.
Yes, it's next door. We had it cleaned, so it's not a
Yeah.
junkyard.
I'm sorry?
We had it cleaned, so it's not a junkyard anymore.
There's
Yeah,
your for
okay.
sale
I was going to say, it's, oh, yeah.
Yeah, all the old cars and stuff are gone.
Yeah, everything's been.
Yeah.
It's gonna be right next to the
Even cars that
road.
were
And
buried.
so what are